and Sunni
Yeah, I mean,
places.
Iran is kind of the center of Shia in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the current regime, and another reason we love the regime to be changed is exactly because of that. Because when the regime changes, in a way, you could possibly say that that's the end of Shia Islam in the world. Not that all the Shia Muslims would just vanish, but by the passage of time they would disappear, because now they don't have a place to belong to anymore. Because Iran is officially like the center of Shia Islam, because every other country that's Muslim is like Sunni. And matter of fact, Sunni Islam was like the Islam itself. Shia Muslims took it's like the Mormonism for Christians, it's like
okay.
it's, you get it? It's like a guy out of nowhere just woke up and he was like, all right, I'm gonna make something new out of Islam, and we're gonna have more imams, we're gonna have more figures, and we're gonna have more stories and different rules. So yeah, and Shia is much more terrible. Shia is much more violent. Shia is much more horrible, and the reason is because they have something in Arabic called tafsir in Arabic, which means in a way translation plus explanation. Does that make sense for you? So what do I mean by that is that, say in Quran, let me actually pull up a real verse in Quran, verse 39, Surah Na'am. It says it literally says this absurd thing: women are like farming crops, and just what do you call the action of putting a crop seed in the dirt and waiting for it to harvesting? Is that the action? Or
that's called planting, like planting the seed?
Planting. Sorry, I forgot it. So Quran says women are like farming crops, plant them, and then harvest as many as you like. And that's literally worse in Quran. And now, in Sunni Islam, if you say this, they're like, oh yeah, well, that's terrible. But in Shia Islam, if you tell this to Muslim, do you know what they're going to tell you? They're going to be like, oh no, this is not Islam. This is not what it meant. You have to understand the tafsir. So let me take you to this Islam scholar, which knows better than you, because somehow he miraculously knows what Allah really meant by that verse. And he tells you that Allah didn't mean that. Allah actually meant that women are very precious and beautiful, and they are the most gorgeous thing ever. And this is not an insult. This was the meaning was something else. And that's why Shia is very terrible, because they control people fluently, because they can just tell people that, hey, no, Islam actually says this, not that, so just do it. Do you know what I mean? It's like they really hypnotize people, and just they're like, hey, Islam said that, so do it. And that's how we have fucking ISIS. That's how we have fucking these IRGC slaughtering murderers that kill 40,000 people in 2 days. That's how we have it. They're brainwashed, and whatever you want to. We in the recent protest that happened, these people that were killing people on the street, they were saying to themselves that in the governmental related groups or facilities or medias, they were all saying that there's an Arabic word in Islam called sabab, which I don't even know how to find an equivalent for you. It's like a something of good face that would return a word for you in heaven. That's the meaning of the word, right? So do you know what's the terrible part? That those people, like the people from IRGC that killed the protesters in 6 months ago, 40,000 people, they killed them. They said that not only we don't regret it, but we're so happy that we killed all these protesters because based on Quran, these people were kafir, which is another Arabic word which means pagan, right? One that doesn't believe in God, and killing a pagan is savab. So it brings us good face and good it brings us wealth afterwards in the afterlife. So that's how mystical and apocalyptical they are. And to think such people run the country is insane. For example, the new leader, the son of Khamenei that was terrorized, right? The new leader, the current leader, which is literally hidden ever since the war. Nobody saw him, which I personally believe he's dead. like before this war and everything, he had an interview, and what, like, somebody asked him, like, if you would become the ruler of the country, like 1%, if like your father dies and you become the ruler, what would you like do? What is your school of thought? And you know what he said? I mean, you have to know this before. In Shia Islam, right? There's not just Prophet Muhammad. There's something called Imam, and there are 12 Imams. So Imams are so the first Imam was the groom of Muhammad, Ali. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, right? So Ali was the groom of Muhammad, right? And then Ali was the first Imam, and then 12 generation afterward from Ali are the 12 Imams of Shia Islam. So Ali Ali had two sons, Hassan and Hussein, and then they are the second and third Imam. Hassan and Hussein had like children, and it goes all the way to the 12th one. And as mystical as it gets, the 12th Imam is called the Imam of Time. I know this sounds like Marvel movies, but it's real fucking Islam. So Imam of Time, that's literally the name. In Farsi or in Arabic, they say Imam Zaman, which is Zaman is time. So Imam of Time, this is such a Marvel Universe story. So Imam of Time, because he was the last, somehow, he was just miraculously the last one, right? And God said that there's not going to be anyone after you. So God said to him that, hey, you need to vanish. You have to exist, you have to be alive, but you need to vanish, you have to disappear and live through time until the doomsday, and that's when you come back, right? And then you rule the world. Listen, you rule the world before the doomsday. And in Shia Islam, not Sunni Islam. And by the way, do you know what the funny thing is? None of this shit is said in Quran. It's all said in the Shia Islam reference, which is Ali's book. So now you get what I mean when I said Mormonism, you know, like it's like a whole fucking derived thing, you know, it's not the real thing. And in Shia Islam, they say like this Imam Zaman, which is Imam of Time, is gonna, like, you know, what do you call it? Like he's going to just, you know, like appear randomly one day that nobody knows what day it is, at the same time with Jesus Christ. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
This is what Shia Islam says. So Imam of Time is going to appear one day, and that is going to be the day that Jesus Christ would be back to, because Muslims believe, in Shia Islam, they believe that Jesus is not dead, right? It was like a replica of him that got killed, that people executed and crucified. So it was not Jesus, right? God created another replica. So, and Imam of Time and Jesus Christ together are going to rule the world for like unknown amount of time, and that time, that Dinazzi is going to be, listen, that Dinazzi is going to be a Dinazzi. It says it verse by verse in Shia Islam, that Dinazzi is going to be a Dinazzi of pure innocent people making there's no sin in that Dinazzi, and only people who are rightful and pious live, right? And now, earlier I said today's Friday and it's the weekend. Now that I've told you this, I can tell you why in Iran and in Shia Islamic country, Friday is the weekend. You know why? Because in Shia scripture, they believe, it's said that Imam of Time is going to appear in a day that is Friday. So in one Friday, he's going to appear. So every Friday Muslims, they have songs for it, they have like books for it, they have like shows. Every Friday they would like just sit down by the window and they're like, Imam of Time, I know you will coming today. And like every Friday passing by, they're like, oh, such a shame, not this Friday. So yeah, and now this is fun, this is mythical, this is some stupid belief. I mean, you would say, who would believe this? Who? The leader of fucking the country. So there's an interview of the current leader, which is the son of Khamenei, that is saying, my ideology is that we should conquer the world and make the world a peaceful planet. Like we should kill all the fucking Jews, first of all, of course. We should kill all the pagan, right? And we would be merciful with Christians because they're not worse, but the ones that are like extremists or some kind, we would kill them too. And then we should prepare the world for our Imam of Time so that he could appear. He is not appearing because he's not satisfied with us. And we should like make the world ready. This is the apocalyptical, real, actual ideology of Iran's current leader. how dangerous that is.
That
These
is
people
very
run the
dangerous.
country.
Wow.
This is like 100 times. This is like 100 times more dangerous than ISIS. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
but yeah,
Wow,
and
this
this
is
is
just
this
too
is
much.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm just bombarding you with information, but I'm just excited to to do this exchange of, for example, you know, they don't call Israel Israel, like they don't call it the word Israel, right?
Yeah.
First of all, they call Israel the occupied land. That's what they call Israel, right?
Uh,
In Iran, right? Because they don't believe the right of Israel to exist, right?
hmm.
So, and then you know what's the next fun thing is that another apocalyptical ideology that they all have, like every commander of Iran or every IRGC supporter would say this sentence, which is apocalyptical and dangerous, is that they all believe that one day they're going to conquer Jerusalem and Israel or current Palestine and all of it, right, all of it together. And then in Arabic, they call it Baytul Muqaddas. So what Beitul Muqaddas means, it's a combination of few words. It's a combination of the word house or land, right? And the word holy, sacred, right? So they believe that place is like holy and sacred, right? Because Jesus was born there, right? And they believe that they should conquer it because Jews are ruining it. And they also, this is a sentence that everybody says in like IRGC and stuff. They say, Inshallah, which is an Arabic term for if God will, right? They say, Inshallah, will we will conquer the occupied land, aka Israel, and Palestine, and we combine them together, and once and for all, we would have a collective namaz, which is the prayer of Muslims. You've seen it, right? They all stand behind each other, and we would have a collective prayer right at the temple in the sacred place, in the sacred land. And they won't stop until they conquer that place. They won't stop until they erase Jews and take that land and do their collective namaz, collective prayer. These kinds of apocalyptical ideologies all together make up this, I would say, super terrorist regime.
Yeah. Mm. Well, hopefully America would be involved in this conflict. I do believe that it would create in a way where America is united, because there's a lot of stuff that America isn't united, like that's between the red side and the blue side, the Republican and
Right.
the Democrat, and now they have been so lost, to people fighting over one nation, and that's dangerous. And
Right.
also we have seen in the Democrat side how soft and weak and how incapable they have become, where the new Gen Z, like my own generation, have shows more leftist form of politics. That means
Right.
far more very left into socialist democracy, and that would come into even more socialist. We can see the case in New York, Mandani, and we can see what's going on in Michigan, and we can see what's going on in Somalia. I'm sorry, not Somalia, but Minnesota,
Right.
where the language is based on the Arabic symbols, and where these Somalian people hold power. And we can see that places in Texas too, where they wanted to build this new mosque community, which is wrong.
Yes.
All these things has been affecting our country, immigration, and especially with the rise of it. Thank God, I'm not from like UK, because UK is worse. But still, all we need to do is that we need to make America once it was. We need to add more jobs for people who are Americans, and we need to start removing those who hate our country. And
I think
those. Go ahead.
I think educating is very important. Like we really need to educate people. We need to educate them about Islam. They don't know what they're supporting. We need to educate them about the Palestine-Israel case. We need to tell them that, hey, Palestine is here and Israel is the one that's rightfully taking his own home. People has to be educated. I think right now the biggest enemy of humankind is stupidity.
Yeah. Totally, yeah, I totally agree, and especially in the left, it has become very stupid.
Yes.
It's very it's become very hard to work with. But hopefully, I think this set of war would bring peace and bring place of where like this has been happening to sorry, this has been going on, like for example in the Iraq case, where we joined the conflict to stop Saddam Hussein, which he was a dictator. We went in the Desert Storm operation, and we go inside with the Kurdish forces and with the American forces and with other European forces that helped later on. We went there and we ended Saddam Hussein, and from there, America was more united, maybe because of 9/11 that causes this, that triggered this whole entire mess between us going to
Yeah.
from Iraq to Afghanistan and so on in the Middle East. But I think that we need something like that, where Americans can be united under one to be togetherness and come to agreement and to end in conflict. And I think that going into a war of Iran could stop the proxy wars in the Middle East, that can stop the bombings of the Gulf Arab nations, that can bring peace and civilization to the
Yeah.
Middle East.
Yeah.
And I think this monarchy style, or this form of Reza Pahlavi, I think Reza Pahlavi, hopefully I'm spelling his name.
Pahlavi.
Yeah,
Pahlavi.
Pahlavi, yeah. I think
Pahlavi.
yeah, Pahlavi, yeah, yeah. I think he would be a great leader to
Yeah.
rule Iran, because I've heard from a lot of people that are in his party. I've heard about him. I've heard also content creators who were they escaped from Iran, from abuses, wanted to convert to
Yes.
Islam, but then they refused. And we can see
Yeah.
how Iran has really have become a nation of terrorism.
Right now, there is only this alternative. There's not any other alternative. Honestly, like he's the only alternative right now that exists for our situation in Iran.
Yeah, I do support a ground invasion. I just hopefully in a way that it would comes out right.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, buddy. No matter how many times America, or how many bad America would bomb Iran, even like if they bombed the whole fucking place, they burn the country, it would still not work. If we want to change the regime, I don't know if America does care about us or does want to liberate us. I don't know if that's actually a priority for them. I hope it is. But the only way to actually change the regime would be, and only would be, by a land war. Because at the end of the day, when it comes about changing the regime, like bringing these fuckers down, these people that are terrorists with weapons and guns that they slaughter us easily, no matter how many times America bombs them, we people still, if we want to go out on the streets and take the country, they're going to kill us still. So the only way would be America actually fighting with them 1v1 on land, boots on the ground, so that they would be actually like involved in a land war, so that now that they're like involved in a land war, we people can come out and fight with them back, because now we have America on the land supporting us too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would be the only way that you could actually take the regime. And when I say take the regime, all we have to do is just, I don't know, to like destroy the system. That's it. Because Pahlavi said that once like the land war starts, or I don't know, like the system is broken and the regime is like falling, I would come to Iran, which is a risky as fuck move. But he said I would come to Iran once this is happening. So just do it, and then I would come to Iran, and then we would take the country. So yeah, I hope. But also from another side, I'm very scared of the land war, because they already like cut it off internet. The economy went shit. It was so hard in the air striking war. So I think if the land war starts, it's going to be really hard to survive until it's over.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. But also we need support. Not just us going in, but also coming from the people.
Yeah, Israel.
Yeah,
Israel as well. I think Israel military should come to Iran too, and also Israel should come from another point. So like if America strikes from like on the ground from the south, Israel should come from the west, Tabriz in Iran, so that Iran would be like from multiple and people on the streets as well. That would actually take the regime down. I mean, how like they can't fight everyone. They can't be fighting us and Israeli armies and American armies at the same time. they already are much more outnumbered in comparison to 6 months ago that they slaughtered us because America have been killing them and tearing, right? So it's the perfect opportunity for a land war, both sided from Israel and America, and even if possible from other countries too. I mean, like for example, I would expect a country like Saudi Arabia to actually involve in land war if America did it, because it's for your own sake, because you have to get rid of IRGC for your own sake, you know. So like I would expect like that. I would find that like a wise move from Saudi Arabia if they would like send like a portion of military to America or Israel too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey,
Wow.
you don't want to let IRGC to live. But
Yeah, totally. I want to dismantle them because they're terrorist cells, and that's what America needs to do. But anyway, beside the point. Yeah, like I said, I've been interested about this topic of Persia. I've been, this is.
thanks for listening to me. Honestly, you're the first one I've talked to about Iran's politics this much, and you know. I haven't been called propaganda spreader or whatever, and you've actually genuinely listened to me. Thank you.
Yeah, because what you're saying is true. You know, I've been watching videos. This girl, I think she's a popular like YouTuber, but she's mostly on Twitter, and I've been watching her talking about Iran, that we want Persia to be free, like not under this part of the Islamic regime. And I totally do agree with her. And we're in a way where people live at peace, and where people aren't attacked or being abused by the Islamic regime telling women what to wear or what to dress, or the Islamic regime using suicide bombs to go ahead and bomb innocent people. I want a place where it's civilized and it's reasonable. But hopefully Iran fall, and it was nice for you to talk to me. I do appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know I've really did waffle a lot, but thank you just for listening to that. This was a very enjoyable and lovely interaction I haven't had for such a long time, and yeah, I mean, I just hope one day we could meet in the liberated Iran, and I could share this beautiful country.
Hey, I mean, amen. Yeah, I appreciate it.
It has been a lovely time speaking with this Persian gentleman. I 100% agree that Iran itself was in many ways better under the Shah rule, especially when it comes to modernization and the rise of Persian society at that time. Iran needs to reconnect to its own history, its culture, and identity, while decided for itself what kind of future it wants. Persia have a beautiful culture, ancient history with thousands of years, and remarks contribution to civilizations across the region. Many Iranians also left the country following the Islamic Revolution of 1979. And it's heartbreaking to think about how much the country and its people have experienced since then. I believe that if Iran eventually becomes free and its own people are determined to decide their own future, it could become one of the most largest prosperous civilizations in the Middle East. Persia has a significant oil resources, as well large educational population. I mean, not just in Persia, because like I said, it's under the Islamic regime, but I'm talking about everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's a Persian businessman. It's true. Until then, Iran will remain stuck in its own current political position unless meaningful change take place. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. If you want to see more of my content, check out my other content as well. There's also another video where two Muslims are debating the situation in Afghanistan. The discussion focusing heavily on women's rights in the Islamic world. And as I said, I want to share this across multiple platforms so people can see what they're talking about when it comes to Muslim women in general. We also have part 1 of this long conversation. It's super long. If you want to see more of that, please click the beginning here, and peace and love and goodbye. I'm out.